Okay, since I ran out of time on the first tutorial video, which will be part one of the 30-second hospital spot, I went ahead and created this part two, which will describe a few more things in detail. The one thing I did on the first video was I first of all put this whole video together, the whole commercial together, and I put it all together on a hospital spot 2, which I said the gray outfit's going to be actually hospital spot 1. If you make the same mistake, take your cursor and let's use the selection tool, highlight everything down below, so you just draw a box around like that, and let's do Command X. Command X will actually cut and copy at the same time. I then double click on hospital spot 01. I put the playhead at the beginning. I do Command V, and that puts the clip back in here. Now you have to wait. There'll be some orange lines up here that appear, and that's usually over a title or a cross dissolve. The program's in the middle of rendering the clip, so you got to wait till that little background task gets to 100% before you quit this program. I mean, we still have more to do, so this will work in the background, but once it gets to 100%, the little orange lines go away, and this will be ready to move on to the next step. Now, the orange line, what it's actually doing is applying that effect to every frame in this commercial. So whenever you stretch across dissolve, or I add a title, or I change the duration of a clip, it's going to turn orange up here, or red, or some other color, and let you know that it's in the middle of applying that effect. Now I've copied and pasted it all onto hospital spot 1. That'll let me go to hospital spot 2, and we'll build the next one. Now I have this little extra clip right here on the end. If you have any extra black clips that are not attached to anything, even though it shows it's attached to cross dissolve, I can delete this and it won't affect the clip at all as long as everything's there. Now what I didn't get around to showing you is that I want to be able to play the clips and see if the cross dissolves are dissolving in the right spot, or do we have to make some adjustments. For example, if I play this clip,
if you're having a baby, we highly recommend them.
I wanted to make sure that it cross dissolves out after she was done with her sentence that she was saying, or after her line. Let's just check it one more time, just make sure that it is crossing after she's finished.
We highly recommend them. At the new Women's Center.
Now that looks pretty good. Let's go to the other one over here, and let's do the same thing.
And surgery are all in one place.
Now you can see there's a little bit of a hesitation in the third scene here, like she's almost waiting for the director to cue her in. We're going to do what's called a slip edit, and a slip edit means that we can adjust the in and out points just on this clip by using the trim tool. So right now we're using the selection tool. I want you to switch this to a trim tool. Now if you place the trim tool right on the clip and you move it back and forth, you can see that the overall duration of my commercial in the timeline is not changing, but only this clip is changing. Also in the window up above, in the viewer window, you can see where the last one, well, you can just see where the clip starts and begins up in that window up there. So I'm gonna move it forward a little bit until I see just her mouth open on the left window there. Her mouth opens. I'm gonna back it up just a hair, and let's play this clip and see how it turns out.
Mammography and surgery are all in one place. The Women's Center for Health.
That's not bad. That did take off that delay. I could probably bring it back just a hair more. So maybe I'll go like 5 frames. Or we'll just leave it at 6 frames. That's what the little window above it is. Let's pull this back and check it out.
Mammography and surgery are all in one place. The Women's Center for Health. At the hospital on the hill. Come see us for everything except maternity.
Now again, I want to make sure that she's finished with her line before it fades out. If it's finishing early or it's fading out early, you will then have to grab the transition and you can pull this out a little bit more to add. Now I don't want to add that much because obviously I'm going into the next take. So I'm going to back this up, and let's say that I trimmed it early. Let's just see what that looks like.
Come see us for everything except maternity.
Now see how fast it fades out? What I would do is I'm going to move the playhead back. I'm going to grab this cross dissolve and I'm going to pull it over just a little bit, add maybe 13 frames there, and play it.
See us for everything except maternity.
That's a nice ending. Now if I want to cut this off at 30 seconds, I will just move the playhead to 30 seconds. There's 30. I'm going to click on this clip down here. Now if I have the razor blade, I could switch over razor blade or hit the letter B, place it right on this clip, cut it right there in the spot, switch it back to the selection tool, click on here, hit delete, maybe delete this black clip because that's obviously nothing. And if you want to fade out, if you hover over the audio clip right here on the green dot, I could pull it over to the left, and that's going to do a nice fade out at the end.
Except maternity.
Now don't forget, I want to add a title to this. Again, let me back up. I did what's called a slip edit by switching to the trim tool, and that does not change the overall duration of the whole commercial. It only changes in and out points when you slide in here. Now if I want to do what's called a roll edit will actually take away from one clip but add to the other one. So for example, you don't need to do this, but I'm just going to show you how to do what's called a roll edit. I'm going to switch to the selection tool. I'm going to delete this cross dissolve just to show you what a roll edit does. I'm going to switch to a trim tool. Now if I place this in between these clips right here, as I pull to the left, you're going to see that the overall duration of the whole clip isn't changing, but what is the duration of each of these clips. We're either taking away, like I'm moving to the left, so it's subtracting 3.27, or I can go to the right and add to it. So again, this is called roll editing. The other one was called a slip edit. When I click on the clip and move it in here, that's called slipping. Now if you ever get to a point where it turns red, I'm trying to see if it gets red on here. This one's not going to get red unless I really drag a lot. Let me undo that. But if it ever turns red while you're either slipping or trimming, that means that you've reached the end of the clip. Now I haven't reached it because there's a lot of material here, so let me go and undo what I did. I'm just going to keep stepping backwards till I get it back to normal. I believe I got it.
We are all in one place. The Women's Center for Health at the hospital on the hill. Come see us for everything except maternity.
Beautiful. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is add a title to this. I'm going to move the playhead to the very beginning. I'm going to go to let's go to titles. And let's go to all. And I'm just going to choose the basic title. So scroll up to basic. And all I'm going to do is let's try double clicking. Well, double clicking is going to put the title here, but I want to put it on the storyline or the timeline down below. So I'm just going to take and move it with the selection tool. Move it down here like this. Now make sure everything shifts over. Now that's going to move over. Now I only want this to be 5 seconds long, so let's go in and shorten this. We can just right click on it, go to change duration, and right here I'm going to type in 5 seconds. 500, hit enter. That shrinks this down. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the playhead right on top of this clip. Double click. Move the playhead over so we can see it in the window. And I'll name this 30-second hospital spot. And then created by Mr. Shihei. Okay, and if I want to make some adjustments to this, I can highlight this part, shrink it down a little bit. If I want to put some space in between it, I think I can click on this top one, and we can go down to the advanced section in here, and I can go to tracking. All right, tracking is spacing, wrong one. Well, let's go, we can space it out a little bit. Let's do line spacing. So I can move that down a little bit like this. You can also do color if you want to get into the colors. Under face right here, I can click show, and I can change the color of the font. I can go in and do, like, let's say blue for this one. I can then highlight my name, and I can do red for this one. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do in here, but let's do that real quick. Red. Okay, now you don't have to do 2 different colors. I just want to show that it is possible to do. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is make sure that the title that we put on there is not going to fade in onto the clip. Now if you look on this one, the title is fading onto our clip. I don't want that. I want the title to fade onto black. So we need to put a black, what's called a slug, like a 1-second slug, in between the title clip and the cross dissolve. In order to do that, we have to get rid of the cross dissolve. So I'm going to click on this and hit delete. I'm then going to go and place the playhead right in between, and just make sure it snaps right on the line in between the title and the first hospital clip. I'm then going to click on the generators button, which is the number 2. Click on solids, and we're going to double click on the black clip right here. That's going to add a 10-second black clip. Now 10 seconds is too long, so let's control click or right click on it, and let's go change duration, and I just want to put in 1 second. So type in 100, hit enter. There's our 1 second clip. Now I want to stretch this out because it's too hard to see this. Hit Shift Z, so it stretches out, fills your screen. Now I'm going to put a cross dissolve in between these two. Do not put one in between there because it will cross in. You'll see the title on this clip. So I'm going to click on the edge of this clip right here. Command T adds a cross dissolve. If you want to shorten the cross dissolve, you can either grab it by the edge and shrink it, or you can right click, change duration, and instead of 1 second long, I can go to half that, which would be 15 frames. But I'm just going to leave it at 1 second. Pull this over, and let's just see how this thing starts. Now, if I wanted to fade in at the beginning, I can click on the edge, Command T. Now this will have a fade in at the beginning. So it fades in. If you think 5 seconds is too long, I'm okay with you guys right clicking on this, change the duration, and let's go 4 seconds. That'll shorten it up a little bit. Go back to the beginning, hit play.
Pocatello's other hospital provides excellent maternity services. If you're having a baby, we highly recommend them. At the new Women's Center at Pocatello Regional, we specialize in the rest of your health care. At last,
Now, if you need to fast forward, you can hit the L key.
education for making your own healthcare decisions, plus mammography and surgery are all in one place.
Now, if you hit the J key on the keyboard, she rewinds. The more you push the J key, the faster it rewinds, and so on. Spacebar plays and stops it. If you want to go to the beginning of your commercial, you hit the letter A, the home key. It'll take you to the beginning. If you hit the end key on the keyboard, that'll take you to the end of your commercial. So it's kind of nice to see if there's any extra clips added and so on. Okay, so let's go and do the same thing over again, except it's your turn. You're going to be double clicking on Hospital Spot 2 to load a new project window. You'll then go on the clip up here, and you're going to skim through and find the first one. The first one, you just got to look at the slate at the beginning of the scene and find where it's at. So for example, if we start here, you'll see that it says scene 4. We're looking for scenes 4, 5, and 6 for the second commercial. The first commercial was scenes 1, 2, and 3. The second commercial, she's wearing blue and white, and you're looking for scenes 4, 5, and 6. Set it up exactly like the last one. Don't worry, Final Cut will automatically save everything. I will check it all out when I come back.